Hi everyone, I'm Faith and I'm a member of the Green Team. So in the article, Louisiana's Grandfather Clause Restricting Black Voting, it discusses how a grandfather clause was created to allow men to bypass voter registration requirements, such as literacy tests, if they were available to vote in the year 1867. African Americans did not have the right to vote until 1870, so all African Americans were required to pass the voter registration requirements in order to be able to vote in elections. This was a way that many people tried to keep African Americans out of the voters' booth. The literacy test was one of the main tests used to keep African Americans ineligible from voting. Prior to this time, many African Americans were slaves, so they did not have any type of education and could not read or write. They could also vote if they were the owners of property that valued over $300. This was also not something that many African Americans had because when slavery ended, they had little or no money to buy land with. So this is completely unfair to African Americans. They're finally freed from slavery, but are still not allowed the same liberties as everyone else. This article really showed that although slavery was over, there was still a long ways to come until equal rights were achieved. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was necessary to enforce the constitutional right to vote. Without it, African Americans may have never had the right to this civil liberty.